Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you're doing well on this blustery, chilly day. Just got in from a nice walk, but it's a little chilly out there today. I found another Easter book, and being that Easter is Sunday, I thought I would read this one for us today. How Will the Easter Bunny Know? And it's written by Kay Winters, and it's illustrated by Martha Weston. It's actually a chapter book, but it's not super long. Chapter 1, Good News, Bad News. We're going to Grandma's for Easter, said Mike to his friend Tony. The one with the elevator, said Tony. Yes, said Mike. I get to push the buttons. But she doesn't have any kids, said Tony. Just my mom, Mike laughed. Too bad, Tony said. What's wrong, Mike asked. The Easter Bunny only comes to houses with kids, Tony said. No, said Mike, that can't be true. It is, said Tony. I saw it on television. The bunny has a list that tells where kids live. So Grandma's house won't be on the list, Mike said. A bad feeling crept up his chest. A fire engine flashed by. The crossing guard waved the boys across. You'll get to ride the elevator, said Tony. So what, said Mike. You'll get the goodies. The boys walked up the steps of Tony's building. They rang the bell. If we go to Grandma's for Easter, said Mike, how will the bunny know? Chapter 2, A Phone Call. The boys climbed 4 flights of stairs. Tony's sister Anna opened the door. She was talking on the phone. If we knew the bunny's number, we could call him, Mike said. We'll get Anna to help, said Tony. When Anna hung up the phone, Tony told her they needed the Easter Bunny's number. You kid, she said, but she got out the phone book. Where should I look first, she asked. Try R, said Mike. Nobody's named Rabbit, said Tony. How about B, Mike said. Bun, Bunnell, Bunny, read Anna. And here's one that starts with E. Good luck, boys, said Anna, and she went to her room. Mike was so excited it was hard to dial. Excuse me, he said when someone answered. Is this the Easter Bunny? No, it's not, a voice shouted. You're the 6th kid to call this week. Mike hung up in a hurry. How about a plane that drags a sign, said Tony, looking out the window. Planes fly everywhere. The bunny would be sure to see it. No, said Mike. Costs too much, but we could make signs. Mike drew himself at Grandma's with Mom, 2 cats, and a big Easter basket. Tony drew Mike and his mom in the elevator. The sign said, Mike at Grandma's. Mike's mom came for him after work. Mike showed her the signs they had made. So the bunny will know where I am, he said. What a good idea, said Mom. You think of everything. Mike rolled up the signs to take home. Chapter 3, A Map. The next day, Mike talked to his friend Ryan. Are you going away for Easter, Mike asked. Oh, no, said Ryan. We always stay home. Wouldn't want to miss my Easter basket. So it's true, Mike thought. Mr. Jamal told Mike's class they would be learning about maps. He showed them a map of the United States and a map of New York. Now we'll make a map of our room, said Mr. Jamal. Mr. Jamal taught the children how to draw pictures on the map to show where things were. Mike gave a thumbs up to Tony. A map! Great idea! They could make a map for the bunny. After school, Mike and Tony hurried to Tony's apartment. Grandma lives on Staten Island, said Mike. You take a ferry to go there. Tony drew Mike's building. He made an arrow to the ferry boat. Mike drew the boat passing the Statue of Liberty. Then he drew Grandma's apartment. He colored her door green. Now he'll find me, said Mike. He grinned at Tony. But how will the bunny get the map? Asked Tony. Oh, no, said Mike. I didn't think of that. The bad feeling came back. At home that night, Mike worried. He worried when he went to bed. He worried when he woke up. He worried when Mr. Jamal taught takeaways. He worried at lunch, even though there was chocolate pudding. Mr. Jamal was always telling Mike, "You are full of shiny ideas," and giving him a high five. That's what he needed now, a shiny idea. Chapter 4, The Shiny Idea. The next day after school, Mike spotted the post office. "That's it," he said. "The post office?" asked Tony. "Sure," said Mike. "The post office knows where everyone lives. We'll write a letter." "And send the map," said Tony. "I want to write too," said Tony. "Put Dear Easter Bunny," said Mike. "We'll make pictures for the hard words." Then he took the pen. "I will be at Grandma's for Easter. Take the ferry to Staten Island. Grandma lives in the red brick apartment with the green door." Mike printed his name. Tony added, "I will be home. Love, Tony." Mike put the letter and map in an envelope. He wrote E. Bunny on the front. And then here's the letter. "Dear Bunny, I will be at Grandma's for Easter. Take the ferry to Staten Island. Grandma lives in the red apartment with the green door. Mike." And then "I will be home. Love, Tony." And see, they used some pictures in place of words they didn't know how to spell. When Mike's mom came, he showed her the letter and the map. She put her arm around him. "Mr. Jamal is right," she said. "You do have shiny ideas." She gave Mike a stamp from her purse. On the way home, Mike put the letter in the mailbox. "I hope he gets it in time," Mike said. Chapter 5, The Trip. The day before Easter, Mike packed his backpack. He was excited. They were going to Grandma's, and the Easter Bunny would know he was there. Just to be sure, Mike taped one sign to the fire escape and another to the front door. At last, it was time for the ferry. Mike and his mom could see the city as the ferry sailed away. Tall buildings and small buildings glittered in the afternoon sun. Mike and his mom waved as they passed the Statue of Liberty. When the ferry pulled in, Grandma was at the dock. She gave Mike a big hug. "Tomorrow's the big day," she said. "Yes," said Mike. "Can't wait. And the Easter Bunny knows where I am. I made him a map." "Clever boy," said Grandma. They took a cab to Grandma's. When the driver dropped them off, Mike stood on the sidewalk and stared. The building was red brick, just the way he'd showed on the map. But the door wasn't green. It was bright blue. "Like the new door," said Grandma. "They just painted it yesterday." Mom squeezed Mike's hand. "It looks pretty," said Mom. They rode up in the elevator, but Mike didn't even care about pressing the buttons. He felt as if he was sliding down. He could hardly eat any supper. "A blue door," he said to his mom. "There's no way the bunny will find me now. I told him it was green. Twice." At bedtime, Mom came to tuck Mike in. "Don't worry," she said. "The bunny is clever. I'm sure he'll find you." And she gave Mike a kiss. Mike tossed and turned. He dreamed he was in a field of rabbits. They were hippity-hopping, thumping and jumping. Mike was chasing them. "Over here," he kept calling. "Come this way." Chapter 6, The Big Day. The next morning, Mike didn't want to get up. "Rise and shine," called Grandma. "Happy Easter." Mike rubbed his eyes. He was afraid to look. Mike sat up slowly. He walked into the living room. A stuffed white rabbit in a blue vest sat on the couch. Next to him was an Easter basket jammed with jelly beans and chocolate eggs. There was a pot of tulips for Mom and daffodils for Grandma. "He found me! He came!" cried Mike. The rabbit was holding an envelope. Mike read the letter aloud. Dear Mike, thank you for your letter and the map and for making all those signs. You forgot one thing. The Easter Bunny is magic. I will find you wherever you go. Love, E.B. Rabbit. The end. Happy Easter, everyone. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll talk again soon. Take care. Big hugs from Mrs. Russell. I miss you all. Bye-bye.